Alright, so let's continue from where we stopped in the last video. So like I said, I just want to add it here that if you want to share this document to somebody else, you click the share button at the top right corner of the screen. Now also, if you want to download this as a separate Excel sheet, and you can just click on file, click on download, you choose the format. You can download it as PDF or whatever, but this is the Excel sheet, this CSV format. But I wouldn't picture any reason why you ever have to download, since if you want somebody to see it, you create a link or just add them to the project. Okay, good. Now in the last video, we showed an example of why these things are columns and are called columns, and why the other ones are called rows. So this is the database name. These things are columns because they are this way, and the data keeps piling up in rows. Alright, so I'm going to delete them here so that we can get back to what we're doing. Now you get the idea of why they are called values or rows and columns. Okay, so I'm going to put the background color. This is for changing background color. Put it back to white. Okay, so we have a users table. Remember, we're working with respect to what our app description says. Now, an idea I'm gonna give you here is whenever you want to model a database for any app, don't think of all the possible features. Right? Forget all the possible features. You will never be able to finish. So think of the 3 most basic features, maximum 4 of the features of that app that need to be up for that app to run. Alright, once you can think of those 3 to 4 features, that's what you're going to put in your description. That's why, as an instructor, I advise my students to always limit your description to 1 sentence. Once you can put it in 1 sentence, it means that you'll be done with the database sooner. Alright, then the app, make sure that the main app itself sticks to that database design. And after it is up and running, then you can start adding more features. All right. As you can see here, I did not add any social media. I have ability to share on social media. I did not add birthday wishes. I did not add other features like selecting the venue for the meeting or classrooms for them to attend. I did not add things about courses. No. This project or this database is just for taking attendance of students. Period. Okay, once it's up and running and students can sign up their attendance, fine. Then I can start taking care of venues. Alright, maybe marking venues. Okay, good. So let's get back. So I'm going to color the background of this one just a little different. Like I said, I'm using Excel sheets just for training purposes. That's why I'm using Excel sheets. The actual platform we'll be using to create the main database itself is not Excel. Alright, but we'll get to that point. But I want you to understand how these things work first of all. So we have fields, and then we have values. Values are piling up. Now what you notice here is that there are no unique fields in quotes. Now let me tell you something about databases, okay? Relational databases work with something called keys. Okay? So it works with something called a primary key. Then sometimes there's a composite key. I'm gonna do it like this. Then there's a foreign key. There is a unique key, and just here I'm gonna put something that is not exactly a key. It's just a method, a function, a way things work that I'm gonna call auto increment. Okay, auto increment means we're gonna get to that. So in relational databases, a relational database is basically a database where tables are connected to each other using primary and foreign keys. We're going to get to that. But one thing you have to know is that every table in a relational database, 99.99% of the times, every table needs a unique key that auto increments. What is a unique key? Every database system, everything you're using to create a database for a relational database, you understand, they need to uniquely identify each record. These things are records. The rows, I think I should put it the values or records. Okay, So it needs to uniquely identify each row, each student record, each user record, each post on a blog post needs to be uniquely identified. Each picture you upload, everything needs to be uniquely identified. So most database systems would provide you a way to create a unique key independent of the one you can come up with yourself. Now this is what I mean. If you look at the field, the data here, d@gmail, runaway, Donald Johnson. Is there any data here that uniquely identifies this record compared to this? So that data here can never repeat again, even if you have 1 million users. Is there any data here that can never repeat? So let's look at it. First of all, let's look at age. No, age can always repeat. There are people there will always be people that will be age 37. Maybe out of 1 million records, you can even get up to 100,000 that are age 37 since they are classmates. Okay. Gender, right? Out of 1 million, you'll get around 500,000 people or records that have male gender. So gender repeats. Donald Johnson, occasionally you'll see people that answer the exact name, even the 3 names are the same. Even the passwords can repeat. People can accidentally choose the same passwords. Now, this is a unique key because Gmail does not allow any 2 people to have the same email address. In fact, it's impossible for any 2 different people in the world to have the same email address. Okay, so it's unique. So we can use it as a unique key. So here, if we look at this place, it has passed out a unique key, parameter. Another thing that may pass the unique key, pass as a unique key is matriculation number. There are no 2 students in most universities, all right? They will never allow 2 students to have the same matriculation number. Once they register you in the school, they assign a certain number or series of numbers to you. Forever, there will never be another student that will have that same number. It will never happen. So whenever they want to find your record, even if you come back 20 years later, they'll ask you what is that number. Once you tell them that number, fine. They know exactly how to get into the school system and find and retrieve your records. Make sense? Okay, so now databases offer you, let's say we're recording user details. That's why we have these 2. What if we're making a post? Let's say we're building a blog, for instance, and we have posts. Fine. And then we start typing, what does a post need? A post needs a title, a blog post. What else does a blog post need? A blog post needs the content or body or description. Let me call it body, where you're going to write the actual blog post. So these 2 things are required to create a blog post. You fill on the title. A good example of a title is Eze goes to school. That's a title. Then the body, you start typing Eze is a 27 years old boy that forgot to go to school. Then one day he woke up and remembered that he has to start the education. Then he started at the age of 14. And then blah, blah, blah. You type a full article, okay? So that's what these 2 represent. Now the thing is that somewhere along the line, there's going to be a repetition, maybe. All right? A good example to show you how repetitions occur is Facebook posts. This is how Facebook posts work. Although in Facebook posts, there are no titles, you just have body, content. Alright, today somebody can post, I love my boyfriend, and tomorrow, some other lady somewhere in the world types the same thing. Or maybe even 1 million ladies out of the 2 billion posts that Facebook gets per day or per month, at least 1 million of them will be exactly the same thing. If a great event is happening, you see people using hashtag, free McMeal, free this, free that. They are posting exactly the same thing. But this database needs to uniquely identify each post. As you can see, there is no unique record. So what database systems offer you is the ability to create a unique record. So the convention to call that, of the name to call that unique record is ID. ID, short form for identity. That ID has to have a property of being unique. So the system will automatically generate an ID for you, the database system you're using. For instance, right now we're using Excel database system. The database system we're using to create this database is called Excel. Excel was not built for this kind of thing. That's why it's not automatically generating numbers for us. But in a database system we're going to make reference to, it will automatically generate a number for us. So let's say if you call it ID, here it will generate 1. For the next record, it will call it 2. Next record, it will call it 3, and so on. You see, it will never repeat. It just keeps going. These things are integers. They will just keep going forever. They will never repeat. But the thing is that after setting it as an ID, you have to set it as auto increment. Once you set it as this, the database system automatically knows what to do. For each new record, it will automatically fill this field. So the form the user will see, for instance, if this is a Facebook post, the form you're going to see is just going to ask you what's on your mind. When you make a post, in the background, the database system will generate a number for that post. You see? Makes perfect sense. So let's look at the quality of this auto increment. For instance, if I manually come in to my database and let's say after filling the second one, I manually come in and put 392 or 3092, right, as the next number. If another user uploads a status, what do you think is going to be the following number? This database system will automatically pick this one and add 1 to it. So the next number is going to be 3093. You see, irrespective of the fact that we skipped thousands here, it doesn't mind. It just picks the last number and updates it. Now, can you type John here instead of a number? No. The restrictions we're going to see in the next video will prevent you from typing any other thing that is not a number. Okay, so now you get an idea of the unique key. So the database systems usually encourage you to add a unique key that is independent of whatever other data you want to put. So every time you want to create a table, as a rule of thumb, always the first field should always be named ID. Remember, small letters. Occasionally you see databases that have capital letters. That's messed up, okay? That's terrible. So small letter ID. Every single table you want to create must have ID. Make sense? All right.